Hello, hello, hello. It is the Ross Man here for day 3 of spoilers for Phage. Sorry, week 2 of spoilers for Phage. Day 8, we're in the second week. I'm talking about 3 cards for today. Yes, 3, count them, 3 cards. I'm going to kind of discuss the spoiler first from the website on the Dojo Discord. So if you're not familiar with it, sorry, you've already seen the image. Sorry. But it's Sethis. And for a battle, you can get another prisoner. It seems like what the Vidiians are best at with their battles are getting captives. Getting captives is really good because that's one less personnel your opponent has, number 1. And number 2, it's harder to get a captive back than it is to recycle a card from the discard pile. And a lot of things that the Vidiians can do with, specifically Vidiian things they can do with their captives, involve killing, which places the personnel back in the discard pile. So being able to get a captive is good. Some of their stuff is enabled just by having a captive, so you will want to make sure you can do that. Also, good skills. Speaking of good skills and end of spoilers, Meleth. Not just good skills, but command icon, and he's non-unique. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Also, his ability lets you, after combat, unstop all ships and personnel involved, and then you can, well, the only thing you could do is not do combat, but you could still solve missions, which is probably what you're doing anyway. Especially if you're able to reap the rewards from winning combat, and then use those captive personnel to do something. It is, well, by default it's once per turn. Even if you're doing a big battle, it's only his crew, so you could only do it once per turn. Like, if you do multiple battles, make sure he's on the one that you want to unstop. But, yeah, this is a really neat trick, especially if you're doing battle late game, your crew isn't stopped. You could still not have to wait until the next turn, which you could possibly lose the game in, to reap those rewards. And then we finally have the cycle, the Vidiian Organ Bank. We've seen cycling cards before, but what I like most about this is it's the result of over 60 sets worth of evolution. We've seen these going back to the first set of basic cycling card. This is done solely with the Vidiians in mind. You can exchange Vidiian personnel, and after you play it, and you solve 2 missions, you can play it again for a cost of 1. So 1 is a worse cost than 0, but I imagine what you're mainly going to be using this for is placing your low-cost Vidiian icon personnel, and for free or 1 counter, replacing them with a higher-cost Vidiian-affiliated personnel. Remember, you're exchanging them, so you still have that personnel in your hand. You can still play them at a later turn. So the headquarters itself lets you get a discount of 2 the first time each turn, you play a Vidiian personnel, as long as you don't have more than 7 or more. But with this, you can play a cheap personnel, get a more expensive personnel, and save a couple more counters, which is never a bad thing, especially early on in the game. And then later on, paying 1 counter for it isn't all that great, especially if you're playing a 1 counter cost personnel. But, well, even if you do play them, it isn't really going to help you in a pinch in terms of being cost effective. But it is a pretty fun trick to do later in the game if you've got someone in your hand that you need to get. They can even be the same personnel and just swap them over and over. So yeah, A few more cards today. Week 2 is starting out kind of the same way as week 1, showing some of the things that the Vidiians can do, albeit with less cards in total. But yeah, that is all that I have for today. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see what the rest of the week holds. Take care, and bye-bye.